What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Gridiron Command here on the Department of Football. Guys, it's been a crazy week. We are getting so close to training camp, and there has just been stats and everything coming out of nowhere. And a lot of people, a list just dropped this week that really upset a lot of people. I mean, we're going to go over it. We're going to go over this week the Titans, the Bills, the Bengals, the Seahawks, the Ravens, and the LA Rams. So first off, welcome. This is your first time. Please like, share, subscribe, and welcome to the show. To my right, your left, as always, I'm with me, BroncoRob. Rob, how you doing today, man? How you feel?
Gridiron Grunt, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm good, man. It's been a week. We did have a little bit of Broncos news, which we're gonna touch on. We're not gonna spend a whole lot of time tonight. Again, we're diehard Broncos fans, but this is an all-inclusive NFL channel, the Gridiron Command here on the Department of Football YouTube channel, and I can't wait to get into it. So, Grunt, who's the first team we got for tonight, sir?
So for tonight, first team up on the list is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Now, last season, Titans had an abysmal 3-14 season. Not only did they have an abysmal 3-14 season, they just had an abysmal outing, right? They had coach drama. They had a brand new number one overall pick with Cam Ward starting as their quarterback, and nothing seemed to go right for the Titans, right? So now, as we come to the 2026 season, we've already seen a lot of massive changes for this team. First things first, let's get right into it. The biggest change for this Titans is their new head coach and Robert Saleh, right? He's had 21 seasons in the NFL, and he has built or has helped build 9 out of 10 top 10 defenses, right? He's worked for the Texans, he's worked for the Seahawks, he's worked for the Jags, he's worked for the 49ers, and he's worked for the Jets. That's the only one that he could not do anything to turn around, right? And that's just the Jets as an organization, right? So we have a guy that is a very defensive mindset. He's going into a team that is just pulling for straws right now, trying to get better. Rob, the question I have for you is, can Saleh turn the Titans from a dud and into a threat in the AFC in one season, or is this going to be like a 2 or 3 season? We got some growing pains to go through.
That's a great question that you pose, Grunt. And to be quite honest, I think Robert Saleh absolutely will turn the Titans around. I mean, 3-14, no offense, but the team last year, set the bar kind of low. And in my opinion, with Cam Ward coming back in his second season.
Yeah, he was last year. He was the number one overall pick, right? And I mean, really got thrown into the fire, right? The first game he had last season was against us on their home turf. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that, he did terrible. I mean, looking at Cam Ward's stats last season, he had 3,169 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with 33.2 QBR. But I think a lot of that was mostly just due to that organization was just falling apart from the top, and it just trickled down to that offense, to the defense, just to the team entirely, right? So,
and just to kind of continue on my thought that I had before, I think Saleh will absolutely turn the Titans around. However, I don't think that the Titans are going to be much of an AFC South favorite. Saleh's job basically is to win more than 4 games. So, which I think Saleh will change the culture in Tennessee, absolutely. And I think they will win more than 4 games because, again, we're coming in with Cam Ward and obviously better draft picks and free agent acquisitions. So, again, I think they will turn it around for the Titans and in the AFC South, but I don't think they're going to be, a huge AFC favorite come the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to be an AFC favorite. I mean, unless this dude is a miracle worker, right? I mean, looking at, like you brought up the draft. So looking at their draft, they took 3 offensive and 3 defensive players in the draft. They still have but there are still a lot of veterans that are still roaming around in free agency, right? So you got guys that are still on the team that are veterans, right? When you look at quarterback as well, right? So they still have Will Levis and they have Trubisky that are still in their quarterback room, right? So do you think that Saleh is going to come in here and just rebuild around Cam Ward? Or do you think he's going to start one of these older guys to just get, just to kind of get his feet wet with this team?
I think Robert Saleh will absolutely build around Cam Ward because Cam Ward, let's face it, is the future of the franchise. He's the face of the franchise. He was their number 1 pick. He had a very distinguished college career, if you will. But, again, we've seen distinguished college careers come into the NFL and be absolute flops, a.k.a. Jamarcus Russell. AKA, I mean, there's plenty that we could rattle off and go through, but I think Robert Saleh is one of the only coaches that could turn Tennessee Titans around. I mean, Tennessee moved on from Mike Vrabel. Look what Mike Vrabel did with the New England Patriots. I mean, he got to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
No, did great. Like, honestly, big ups to Mike Vrabel for getting out when he did, and then going out and being like, maybe you shouldn't have fired me. Crazy.
And the funny thing is with the Titans, if you look at their coaching staff, they're all bald. Every single one of them, from the head coach to the OC.
I'm all about it.
Every single one. They were like, hair? Nah, get out of here.
No, I mean, it's great that you bring up the coaching staff as well, right? So, yes, Robert Saleh, head coach, bald. But guess who else they brought in, right? Kind of, I won't say disgraced. I don't think that's a good word for it, but they've got Brian Daboll coming out of the Giants, right? And a lot of people equate that guy, though, as to the one who built Josh Allen, right? So do you think that he still has what it takes to really build this brand new quarterback and get him up? Like, could we possibly see this kid grow up to be an absolute monster on the field when it comes to quarterback?
I think Cam Ward has it in him. I think Cam Ward, definitely has the intangibles to become, a top 10 quarterback within the next couple years. But he still has a lot to learn. I mean, look at again, I'm a Broncos homer. Look at the game against the Broncos. I mean, that defense ate Cam Ward's lunch, play in, play out.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, as far as I remember it, that wasn't an absolute blowout, right? I mean, there was like, I remember being done with it and talking to people going like, should we be worried going into the season? Like, we just went up against Tennessee in the season opener, and it was a 1-score game, right? So again, it wasn't. I'm not saying that, here or there that could have just been on us, that could have just been on just, being the season opener and everybody just kind of really starting to do growing pains and whatnot. But, I mean, the point is that we're going to have a whole new Titans team showing up this season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And I mean, just to kind of touch on your point against the Broncos, I don't know if it was as much of, they were that good or our defense just kind of kept it a close game and a 1-score game. I mean, Denver had 11 1-score games that they won last year.
Yes, I know.
We watched most of them together.
We watched most of them together. My point of the matter is that we have trying to get these guys to where they need to be. But my real big question that I have for Robert Saleh, and that I have really, I think, as far as his new era begins, is where do you think he's going to start? Do you think he's going to start rebuilding the defense? And are we just going to see a defensive powerhouse come out this season? Or are we going to see more of a equally balanced. He's going to do a little here. He's going to do a little there. And then we're going to see how the season progresses.
I think Robert Saleh, again, he's a defensive coach, right? He came over from the 49ers. He was the defensive coordinator over there and did a bang-up job. Had a couple head coaching gigs, didn't go like he wanted. So I think Robert Saleh is going to lean into the defense first and, put his little sprinkle on the offense here or there. And if he doesn't, he's a fool, to be quite honest. We do have a couple comments I want to jump into real quick as they're coming up. As always, we have your lovely wife, Miss Gridiron Grunt, saying, woohoo, my favorite Wednesday night show. And we have a new name to the show, which is related to me. That is my mom saying, hello, Rob. Hi, Mom. Go. How's it going?
Hi, Mom.
And your wife comes back saying, wasn't it a one-score game? Now the Colts blew the Titans out of the water. Cough, cough, 38-14. We know, Jess.
Wait, did the Colts make it to the playoffs?
No, they did not. Burn.
But so last thing I'll touch on as far as it goes to the Titans is they did pick up a huge draft pick in Carnell Tate. I don't know much about this guy. I know he's a wide receiver, but I definitely do think he's going to elevate, or he has the potential to elevate and really kind of just jump out at the start of the season, right? When it comes to, essentially a rebuild, right? So you have a brand new blood coming out from college, and this guy could really make his stamp on this offense. So I think that's something we have to look for. Last thoughts from you, Rob, before we head on over to our next team.
Hey, you know what? The AFC South is an interesting division. They've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans have a lot of work to do if they want to pass the Jaguars because, again, we talked about it on last show. We talked about the Jaguars. They were the sneaky team out of the AFC that made a hell of a run last season. They beat Denver, but if the Titans want to make a comeback, so to speak, and a splash, they've got a lot of work to do, and they better get to it because it's going to be a long, long, long road for the Titans. But moving on from that, the next team that we're going to be discussing is going to be the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills.
The Bills Mafia. If you're in the house, drop in the comments because we know you're always somewhere. There's always a Mafia member somewhere out there doing whatever Bills
breaking tables, jumping through tables. They're an insane group. Let me just put it that way.
They're partying in the snow in their underwear. It's crazy.
But the Buffalo Bills. Hey, so basically the whole premise of the show this week is, can Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills get over the hump and finally make a deep playoff push?
Will they make a deep playoff push? The question is, are they going to get through the AFC Championship? That's the real question.
Well, last season the Bills finished with a record of 12-5. Commendable. They did a hell of a job as far as making it to the playoffs. But again, like many other teams, they were riddled with injuries, especially Josh Allen. He got hurt 3 times in one game, if I remember correctly, from last season. So the biggest question that we have for them is, can Josh Allen stay healthy? He's another one that just seems to always get injured left and right.
As far as getting injured, yes, he gets injured, but he hasn't had any absolutely detrimental injuries, right, that took him out for the season. Right? He's had injuries. I don't even think they took him out of any of the games, right? He's played through pain. He sat there and just put his body on the line. How many times have we seen Josh Allen just go, you know what, I'll do it myself, and he runs in, gets hit at the goal line, still gets the touchdown, right? But looking at his stats from last year, right? Josh Allen had 3,668 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions with a 65.4 QBR, right? Has absolutely made huge plays, right? They have a massive running back, right? When I always say massive, he's quick, all right? Their running back is no joke, right? So
as long as he holds on to the ball.
Ain't that a lot of them? But, I mean, really the biggest news coming out of Buffalo is new head coach, right? Sean McDermott is no longer there, right? He has finally been ousted, and now the new coach for them is their old offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, right? Which I think is a plus for them, right? They're talking about a guy who has been in this system, has seen what the offense can do, and now he just gets to be the head coach and build on it. What he knows it needs, right? So, I mean, how do you feel about the Bills kind of going internally and bringing up the OC as a head coach?
You know, he's a first-time head coach. It's going to be a lot of pressure for him. But, you know, we've seen first-time head coaches, for example, Liam Cohen from the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, turn the culture around and absolutely just make a run and a tear in the season. I mean, you know, Buffalo has constantly been one of the AFC's best teams. They've had multiple division titles. They're consistent in the playoffs, making an appearance, but yet still no Super Bowls for Josh Allen. And I feel for the kid. I really do. But, you know, the former MVP is still one of the league's most talented quarterbacks, and you can't really ever take that away from him.
I mean, you really can't. I mean, here's the thing. Earlier this week, Rob, go ahead and get ready to pull this thing up. So earlier this week, there was a survey that was put out to all the execs, a lot of coaches and scouts, right? Who are the top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2026 season in the NFL? This list, we're going to talk about a lot more, okay? Because let me tell you something. This list is absolutely ridiculous, right? However, it does have Josh Allen as number one in front of Pat Mahomes, right? Pat Mahomes, abysmal last season, a lot of injuries, right? Didn't make the playoffs, right? First time Chiefs haven't made the playoffs in a while. So really kind of, you know, not surprising that they have Josh Allen as number one, right? But, I mean, how do you feel about this as far as Josh Allen being number one?
Hey, Josh Allen definitely deserves to be number one on the list, but you know, I got to take my opportunity any chance I can when it comes to crapping on the Chiefs. I got 2 words for you, Kansas City. Suck it. I told you it was coming.
Hey, fair enough. All right. But we're going to come back to this list later on, okay? I promise you that. We're going to come back to this list. But so going into training camp, and really, I think we're probably going to see another move or two come preseason. Now, one of these guys has a lot of kind of stuff going on. He's another one of those guys, got in trouble. Still need to see what's going to happen with it. But Stephon Diggs and Jadeveon Clowney are both free agents, right? And could be huge additions for this offense, right? Because let's be honest, the wide receiver core for the Bills last year, I'm not going to say it was terrible, but it definitely wasn't firing on all cylinders, right? A lot of drop passes, a lot of dropped, opportunities. Really, it was a lot of tight ends kind of coming out of nowhere, right? Everybody was like, oh, Khalil Shakir is going to have a great season in 2025. And he really didn't, right? He really didn't perform the way that we thought that he would. So do you think that either going into preseason or going into training camp that we could see this new head coach and this, in this front office really start kind of trying to grab some of these free agents to put them as targets for Josh Allen?
Well, I hate to answer a question with a question, but my question is why hasn't the fucking front office, been building around Josh Allen from the get-go? It seems like they start one way and they start building around Josh Allen, then they go another way the next season, then they go back to building around Josh Allen. Can they just make up their freaking minds or what?
I mean, I definitely think that they can make up their minds. I definitely do think that they have Josh Allen as their number one, like, this is our guy. I just think that for some reason they just haven't had the right people in the right spot, right? They have one or two here, they have one or two there. Some people leave, some people, get traded, what have you, right? Kind of goes back and forth. But then, they still manage to do what they can with what they have. And it's not bad, right? Like you said, been to the playoffs multiple times, made deep playoff runs, right? These guys aren't a first-round playoff team that's getting knocked out or anything like that. They're either headed to the AFC Championship or they're playing to get to the AFC Championship. So I definitely think that the front office definitely is trying to build around Josh Allen, right? It could have just been these one or two things like, hey, we still have the right people here and there, right? But other than that, is there anything else that you have for the Bills?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. DJ Moore, gives Josh Allen yet another target to throw the ball to. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox is probably the most dangerous tight end duo in the NFL. We got to give them a little bit of love.
Absolutely.
But again, the pass rush for their defense, I think their defense is what needs to improve. And I'm going to bring it up and we're going to talk about it for just a second, but I don't care what anybody says. That was an interception by Jaquan McMillan against the Buffalo Bills. I don't care what anybody says. I'll fight every Buffalo Bills fan. I don't care. That was an interception. That was a hell of a play, and he's the one that came out with the ball.
And we got nothing for it. All right, we got nothing for it. Honestly, listen. I'm a Broncos fan. I'm a Broncos fan through and through. However, full stop, whatever you want to say. If we had lost and the Bills would have gone and beaten New England, I'd have been fine. All right, I'd have been rooting for Josh going to the Super Bowl. I'd have been like, go, dude. Hey, we put up a fight. You guys got it. It is what it is. Do not let Drake make it to the Super Bowl. And detrimental injury to Bo Nix. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it no more, boss. I don't want to talk about it. But no, you're absolutely right. When it comes, so I do think their defense is definitely going to be a big focus for this new head coach. But again, I think he's going to sit there and try to pull in a couple more veterans or maybe one or two just, hey, let's throw somebody in and let's see if we can elevate this offense for Josh.
I do have one more question for you, Grunt, one that I want to pose to you. But if Buffalo falls short again, who gets the blame? Josh Allen or Joe Brady?
Ooh. Honestly, it's all gonna depend on that game. Because let's be honest, last season, not going to the Super Bowl wasn't blamed on McDermott or Allen. It was blamed on the refs. Right? It was blamed on the refs, right? And McDermott still ended up getting let go. So again, I think that definitely it's one of those things that you're going to have to see how it plays out, right? If it's a bad toss or if it's an interception, yeah, that's going to hang on Josh, right? If it's bad play call, right? Like the infamous give the ball to Marshawn Lynch and just have him running across the goal line, don't pass it, right? That's going to be put on Joe Brady, right? But as far as where we're going to be looking at, yeah, no, I think for sure, I think Josh, as far as the Buffalo Mafia is concerned, Josh can do no wrong.
Hey, Josh Allen, all I know is when you run the ball, high and tight, brother, high and tight, because you got a case of the fumbleitis, man. I want to just address a couple of these comments. Again, Debbie coming in saying, hi, guys. Your lovely wife coming in saying, I think the Bills should be feared going into 2026 season. Josh Allen is hungry. And
he's always hungry.
And a little bit of shade thrown your way there, boss. But is the Gridiron Grunt going for Josh Allen this fantasy football season?
All plans and tactics are secret as
classified.
All classified information. I could tell you, but then I have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. I love you very much. Going away from the Bills, right now, we're going to head to a city that last season kind of fell apart week 2, right? And it fell apart week 2 because of the detrimental loss of their quarterback. That's right. We are talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. All right. So last season ended up going 6-11, ended up pulling in Joe Flacco to kind of try to shoe in fit for this team as the quarterback. And now they're coming in. Burrow is healthy, right? But it's Cincinnati, right? So the question is what Cincinnati offensive line are we going to get this season? Are we going to get the 2024 offensive line where they were fighting for they were on the bubble fighting to get into the playoffs, right? Or are we going to get the offensive line that he had last year where week 2 he's dead on arrival, right? With a turf toe injury, right? So we here at the Gridiron Command on the Department of Football channel, we're hoping that he's got some protection, right? Even though he's in our conference, hey, I just don't want to see this guy get hurt, right? A lot of people are worried about, Joe Burrow, and they kind of line him up with Andrew Luck, right? Andrew Luck, great quarterback for the Colts, right? He was a fan favorite. They all loved him. He had the heart of the people. Couldn't get protection, early retires, right? And absolutely threw that franchise through the loop when he did that, right? So a lot of people are worried that the same thing is going to happen with Joe Burrow, right? At what point does he go, Rob, that's it, I'm done. Like, I can't take this anymore. One season I have protection, the next season I don't. Like, at what point does he go, either trade me or I'm retiring?
I was going to say, I don't think he retires. I mean, unless he suffers another horrific season-ending injury. But I think, if anything, he would ask to be traded before. I think Joe Burrow's still got a lot of football left in him. I mean, they don't call him Joe Cool for nothing. He came out of LSU, played with guys in the organization that have already become the NFL elite. You got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins,
Chase Brown. Chase Brown,
I mean,
coming out of nowhere in the 2024 season, right? He was RB number 2. Their RB number 1 gets injured. He shows up and he balls out, right? He completely takes control of that running back room. And last season, we didn't see much of him. Again, mostly because he wasn't getting the blocking that he needed to make those big plays anymore.
Well, and I'm going to touch on the defensive side of the ball, but Trey Hendrickson is no longer a Cincinnati Bengal. So he was the keystone, the corner piece of that defense, especially on that defensive line. So the question that I have going into the 2026 season is, how is Cincinnati's defense gonna fare with Trey Hendrickson gone?
I think it's definitely going to hurt. I mean, they said my question that I was going to have for you is, what's the biggest risk this Bengals team? And I think that you just went ahead and answered it already. And that's without their elite pass rusher, right? Where is this defense going to be?
Well, all I have to say is their defensive line, they've got more than just one player on that defensive line, and every single one of them better step up and show out, because if not, the Bengals are going to be playing from behind quite a bit. And, again, Joe Burrow can't do it all himself, especially if he's not being protected and the offensive line isn't holding up their end of the bargain. But again, it's gonna really fall on, again, the Bengals have a new head coach. I'm trying to remember, do they have a new head coach this year?
Oh, no, they don't have a new head coach as far as I'm aware. However, they do have a new tight end who they picked up in the draft. Eric All Jr., who right now, first snap of the season hasn't even been, played yet, but they're projecting this kid, dude, to show up, show out, and be the number one tight end for that offense.
Well,
So
I hope Joe Burrow finds him and finds him often, because, you know, if he has to do it all on his own and shoulder it on his own, you know, accord, it's not going to be a good season for Joe Burrow.
No, it won't. And that's it. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see a guy get another season-ending injury. Like, it's just one of those things that you hate to see it. So again, Bengals,
and
figure it out.
One key piece that we didn't even touch on is Cincinnati signed big old sexy Dexy out of New York.
Dexter Lawrence.
So, you know, if Dexter Lawrence can fill that Trey Hendrickson role, you know, maybe they'll be okay. But I still think the rest of the defensive line needs to step up and show out. So
they also signed Jonathan Allen, as far as I'm aware, as well. Correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it looks like they're trying to, like, as far as the defense is considered, right? But again, not too much worried about the defense, as, I mean, their offense could be elite, right? It could be absolutely elite if they just put some focus in that offensive line. So,
well, I mean, only time is going to tell. And, you know, again, the season's right around the corner. Training camps are going on right now as we speak. And the Bengals, as always, have an uphill battle that they're going to have to climb for sure.
So, well, with that, Rob, I think that it is time to give a shout out to this episode's sponsor. What do you think?
Absolutely. As always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. You can go to dubby.gg and use code DOF88 and get 10% off your order. We chose 88 in remembrance of Demaryius Thomas. Why pick Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend is the great question. And I'll tell you why. Because it's clean energy, sharp focus, no crash. It has 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving, supports focus with the coffee fruit extract and nootropics, includes vitamins and amino acids, zero sugar, zero maltodextrin, zero fillers, no artificial colors or dyes, and that's approximately $1 per drink. And hey, you get 30 servings per tub. That's a whole month. So again, go to dubby.gg and use code DOF88 for 10% off your order. I would also like to just throw this up there as well. Make sure you go give us a like, share, subscribe, follow on all our social medias. We're on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, X, aka Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're all over the place. Everything is the Department of Football, or at the Department of Football, with the exception of Twitter. It is the DOF Pod. And once again, we want to thank Dubby for sponsoring our show. And again, use code DOF88. And as anybody will see during this episode, that's exactly what Gridiron Grunt is drinking.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby. So, yeah, I am currently drinking the sweet and sour blue raz, sweet and sour all at once. Guys, I got to tell you, I love this stuff, right? Whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I'm so tired, I knock one of these back. I get the energy. That's why I'm all jittery and moving around. So, by all means, go use our code. Go get you the dub with Dubby. Coming out of that, Rob, what is the next team that we have?
Well, we're going to go all the way across the states, and we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl defending champions, the Seattle Seahawks, led by none.
Bad Mama Jamma right there.
Led by
bad Larry right there.
Led by none other than Samuel Darnold. I'm gonna call him by his legal name, because let's face it, you know, Sam Darnold came into the league. You know, he had a phenomenal season with the Minnesota Vikings, had a detrimental season with the Jets, but let's face it, anybody that goes to the Jets is gonna suck.
I mean, that's just one of those organizations, man, where it's like.
But again, you know, Sam Darnold comes.
Myles Garrett, we are praying for you. So you know, Myles Garrett, shout out. We are praying for you. Escape, please.
Myles Garrett, what are you talking? He went to the Rams.
Or not Myles Garrett. Garrett Wilson. Sorry, Garrett Wilson. Praying for you. Sorry, Myles Garrett. You're doing great, dude. We're talking about you here in a couple minutes. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. That's why I'm so excited. The W's getting to me.
But again, Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold comes in, has a phenomenal 2025 season. Like I mentioned before, they're the reigning Super Bowl champions, led by head coach Mike McDaniel, who won a Super Bowl in just his second season.
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDaniel. Mike McDonald?
Mike McDaniels is now the offensive coordinator for the Chargers.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Too many Mikes in the league.
Oh, so many Mikes. Mike from upstate, Mike from the left, Mike from Jersey. I don't know.
But, Seattle now has a target on its back, and every team is going to be gunning for the defending champs. Again, with Sam Darnold, that is possibly the biggest comeback story in the NFL by far. I mean, Sam Darnold went from, being on the Jets talking about he's seeing ghosts to hoisting the Lombardi trophy and winning a Super Bowl. I mean, my hat's off to him. I was rooting for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl because, let's face it, we don't want another evil empire in the New England Patriots, okay? I don't want to see the New England Patriots in every freaking Super Bowl. Nobody wants to see that, with the exception of New England.
And here's the thing is that, yes, they're coming for him, but let's look at the stats, at least for Sam Darnold, because this is going to also come up. I'm going to pull up that top 10 list again. So last season, 4,448 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions with a 55.6 QBR. Let's look at this list over here. Let's see. We have Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jack Prescott, Hermit May, Goff. How in the hell is the reigning Super Bowl championship team quarterback not on this list? 2 back-to-back seasons with 14 wins, not on this list.
That's a very good question. That's a very
How
good
is that
question.
a thing?
How is Bo Nix not on this chart?
Right. And I don't mean to throw absolute shade to the Cowboys fans that are out there, but why is Dak at number 6, right? When, he's going to be MVP this year, goes to Mile High, gets absolutely roasted by our defense, and then just fades to, just
out of existence.
Right? Just non-existent, no longer in the talks, right? He's number 6. But the reigning Super Bowl championship quarterback isn't in this list.
It's blasphemy. That's what it is.
Like, how? I don't know. Again, this list was apparently comprised by executives, scouts, and other coaches. And this is the list they came up with. And no one thought to think, hey, should we not add Sam Darnold? Granted, his stats, they're good. Like, I'm not saying they're the best, but they're not bad. How is he not on this list?
I would have at least pulled Dak Prescott out and moved Herbert up and put Sam Darnold at 7. That's what I would have done.
Listen, I'm going to tell you my hot take coming at the end. When we go through this list, you're going to find out why, because you're going to see me absolutely lose it when we go to the stat line of some of these other quarterbacks. But, this is, I don't know who was smoking what. It must be some good shit, because let me tell you something. Makes zero sense. Makes zero sense to me. But, all right, back to the Seahawks. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just had to get that out there. How is this man not in talks of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now?
No, you're fine, because that was actually going to be my next point. So you fit it in perfectly. But again, with Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, if he leads another deep playoff run, does he silence the remaining doubters and solidify himself as one of the top 10 quarterbacks? I think he does. He should already be up there. And I put him in the top 10 of quarterbacks just for winning the Super Bowl. His performance in the Super Bowl was, it was almost picture perfect. He threw a couple interceptions, but again, it's the Super Bowl. It's the two best teams going up against one another, and both Seattle and the New England Patriots had killer defenses last season.
Yeah. And again, also, killer offenses, right? Listen, we already talked about New England a couple episodes ago. I'm not afraid to still give these dudes their flowers, right? Very big chance they could become the bad guys of the NFL again. I don't think it's going to be quite as perfect as listen, the Brady era of the New England Patriots will go down in infamy for how villainous they were, right? With Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But again, you got two offenses. Like, this offense was no joke last season, all right? Was no joke.
But speaking of the offense, they lost Kenneth Walker, who was their running back for the Super Bowl and the entire season. I mean, that's a huge loss. They also lost their offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, who went to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Ew, puke. Ugh. But again, they promoted Brian Fleury to offensive coordinator, who is filling the shoes for Clint Kubiak. And I think the thing that Brian Fleury has in his back pocket is he is from the same coaching tree as Clint Kubiak. They're all from the Shanahan coaching tree. They all came over from the 49ers. That's where they cut their teeth. I mean, there's several NFL coaches that are under that same tree. But, to jump back to the running back for a minute, Zach Charbonnet, they didn't lose him, did they?
No, as far as I'm tracking, he's still there.
Okay, so he's still there. So it's expected that Zach Charbonnet is going to be the running back one. But again, sure, they have a slew of running backs that are going to be able to give him breaks. He's not going to have to be a workhorse. Seattle has wide receivers that will definitely take the load off of Sam Darnold and the running backs. But the question is does Seattle become more pass-oriented, or do they still lean on the run game? And my answer to that question is, in my opinion, is we're going to have to see how Zach Charbonnet does. He did a phenomenal job for Seattle when he was called upon, when his number was called upon. And I'm sure you've got some stats to back that up, Grunt.
Yeah, I do. Give me a second.
But again, with losing Walker, will losing Walker hurt more people than they expect? Meaning, will it hurt Seattle's offense as a whole, or will it just hurt the running back position? And I think it's just going to hurt the running back position.
I think it's just going to hurt the running back position. I mean, does it take a massive piece of ammunition out of that offense? Absolutely, right? But Zach Charbonnet, like you said, right, he still is on the Seahawks, right? Last season, he had 184 carries for 730 yards, 12 touchdowns with an average of 4 yards, right? But he wasn't their number one back, right? I mean, there was a lot that he just wasn't playing. So I think that as far as somebody that's going to have to step up, Zach is absolutely ready, right? And he's been a part of the system for years, so he knows the system, right? He knows his job, he knows his routes, he knows his pockets where he's going to punch through. So I think that it'll probably really it's going to be looking at, can he handle that workload, which I think he'll be able to. Again, I think that he's grown up in the system and he should be able to do it with no problem, right? As far as their defense goes, I mean, I haven't really heard too much news about anything.
Well, their defense is still led by one of the league's best defensive coaches. Devin Witherspoon still remains a shutdown corner for Seattle. The defensive line creates pressure, but a question that I think is on everybody's minds is, can this defense carry Seattle back to another NFC championship and possibly another Super Bowl?
I mean, I think they absolutely can. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Listen, I thought I couldn't fathom why the Minnesota Vikings let him go, right? I could not fathom why they had Sam Darnold leave. The fact that he came to Seattle, put up numbers, and ended up getting the trophy is, I absolutely think, right? Mike Macdonald is, I think he's kind of a little, taken aback about how people, like the fact that they're not in these conversations, right? So I definitely think Mike Macdonald's going to come in with a huge chip on his shoulder and it's about to be like, all right, we'll do it again.
In the words of,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, in the words of Mike Macdonald, they did not care. That was the worst. That was the worst thing, in my opinion, that you could say after winning the Super Bowl was, we did not care. Like, he said that, and I literally double taked at the TV, and I went, what? That's what you say after winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, he wanted the Broncos there. He felt cheated himself. He wanted the Broncos there.
Yeah, well, if the Broncos were there, he wouldn't have been up there. He wouldn't have been up there saying,
"Yeah, I don't think he'd been up there. I don't know."
He would have been like, "We care, we care."
All right. Go. What do you got left for the Seahawks? So I said, biggest things for me was top 10. Listen, in my opinion, Sam Darnold is a top 10 quarterback, right? In my opinion, that dude deserves to be in that discussion, if not on that list.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you 100%. The only last question that I had that we could discuss is this a Seattle team that's going to start forming a dynasty, or do you think last season was just kind of lightning in a bottle and a one and done? Because we've seen Seattle, the Legion of Boom, Russell Wilson, I can't remember his name, with the dreads, the cornerback that likes to talk shit. What is his name? Sherman, I can't remember his name.
You're also forgetting the other dude with dreads.
Oh, yeah, Marshawn Lynch, of course, run through a motherfucking face. But
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
We're just here so we don't get fined. All right, period.
No, but that's the thing is, I mean, to answer your question, I don't know if could it be? Yes. But the fact that they but the fact that they traded away Kenneth Walker, I think brings doubt to that, right? I think for sure it brings doubt to that. Because you're talking about dynasties, you're talking about legacies, you're talking about like eras, right? And you get rid of one of your best weapons on the offense, right? Yes, they have JSN. They have their wide receiver core runs deep. They've got absolute, they got Cooper Kupp that is still out there, right? Cooper Kupp he's still playing. He still wants to get those targets. He still wants to get those passes, right? You really didn't see a lot last season. But I mean, you're talking about, as far as the ground game, giving up a huge piece of that. So, I mean,
and the one thing that I just want to again reiterate is Seattle. You couldn't trade him to anybody else. You had to let him sign with the Seattle Seahawks. You couldn't trade him to the Browns.
I ain't even worried about it. Want to why? My boy Zach Allen gonna get hands on that dude.
He better.
That dude. Oh yeah. All right. But yeah, that's my answer. Is I think that could it be absolutely kind of weird that you get rid of your running back that just helped you win the Super Bowl to start that dynasty or to start that era. But I mean, what do you think?
I don't want to see Seattle win another Super Bowl, but I mean, if Sam Darnold leads them back, then more power to him. 100%. But moving on from Seattle, we're gonna head back east just a little bit, and we're gonna be talking about the Baltimore Ravens. And boy, do we have some things to talk about with Baltimore. In the big picture, the big question that on everybody's mind when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens is, can Lamar Jackson finally get his team over the hump and get to the Super Bowl. Baltimore enters a new era with Jesse Minter becoming the head coach. They have Declan Doyle, who takes over as offensive coordinator, and the expectations remain championship or bust. But again, Lamar Jackson is the center point, the keystone of that team, of that offense. And Lamar Jackson's had some issues, like, having to run off the field to use the bathroom. Like, really, bro? You don't think about that before the game?
Time and place, dog. Time and place.
Like, when I was in high school, I knew players that took Imodium just so that didn't happen. Like, you don't want to be having to run off the field all the way back to the locker room to use the bathroom and then come all the way back.
I mean, here's the thing. Talk about Lamar, right? Like, yeah, sure. He had all that stuff going on. But, I mean, look at his stats last season, right? This is a guy that has been the MVP, who we know can absolutely ball. Twice, right? We know can absolutely ball. His stats last year were probably the worst that they've ever been, right? 2,549 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with a QBR rating of 62.7. That was some of the worst when it comes to his performance, right? So was this because Lamar was just fed up with John Harbaugh, right? Who's no longer there. Now we've got Jesse Minter taking over, right? Another defensive coordinator, right? So was it he was just tired of John Harbaugh, right? He didn't want to perform, and he was like, "Get him out. I'm done with him," right? Which is wild. Or was this just just Lamar?
With Lamar being a 2-time MVP, he's still one of the best regular season players of our generation. He's one of the most dangerous dual threat quarterbacks in the league. I mean, him, Jalen Hurts, even Justin Herbert, who you don't really expect him to run, but that dude ran all over. Bo Nix. I mean, the list goes on and on. The NFL is not only – it's not a quarterback sits in the pocket and throws the ball. Like, these quarterbacks come out of college having multiple skill sets. And in my opinion, I think some players realize that they're more of a dual threat quarterback than just a pocket passer. And coming into the league, again, there's a lot of quarterbacks that, like Aaron Rodgers, he's getting older, but even during his time in his prime, he sat in the pocket more than taking off, but he had the ability to take off when he needed to. So Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, needs to elevate everybody around him in order to get Baltimore to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl. But it's always at the end of the season where they play the Steelers or they play some tough team where, and it's not all Lamar's fault. I don't want to put that out there like I'm just crapping on Lamar. No pun intended. But again, it just seems like towards the end of the season, either Lamar gets hurt, Lamar has a bathroom break, or the team just overall breaks down. And I don't think Lamar has it in him. I hope he does this year, but I don't think in past Lamar has had that gumption, that fire in him to, smack his teammates upside the helmet and tell them, what, strap up, let's go. Let's get this game. Let's get this done. So I hope that Lamar, just himself alone, has a change of mindset this season and is that type of quarterback to elevate everybody around him.
No, I absolutely agree. And again, look at the offense that they're building. That they are continuing to build around him, right? Their number one wideout, right, for sure, is Zay Flowers. All right. And you want to talk about a guy who had a heck of a season last year, right? Zay Flowers had 86 receptions for 1,211 yards, 5 touchdowns with an average of 14.1 yards, right? They're talking about a deep threat, right? Talking about a guy that can pick up those yards and that is a reliable target, right? You're talking about, you got him, right? It could be better. Again, I put most of that on the fact that Lamar just wasn't the Lamar that we know, right? And he wasn't the Lamar that we have seen. But the fact that he still came out with 1,200-yard season, right, speaks to something, right? Not only that, they still have Rashad Bateman, Elijah Surratt, Devontae Walker, Cornelius Johnson, and there's a new rookie coming into this organization called Jacoby Lane, right? And a lot of the staff are hoping that someone is going to make a clear stamp on that number 2 spot, right? So the question is who is going to step up and take that number 2 spot and give him a second, no kidding, target this season? All right, who are you thinking?
I still think it's the tight end. I still think it's the tight end that's their number 2, to be quite honest with you. You got Zay Flowers at number 1 on the outside, and then in my humble opinion, and stats may prove it, it was their tight end. Now, granted, of course you're gonna ask me that.
Because I'm pretty sure because they're moving on from the one dude, and they're starting to bring up their in-depth one.
How are you gonna ask me that question and then you don't know the answer?
Because I thought you did.
Bear with us here. We're still working here. Let's see. So they still have Mark Andrews. He's still there.
He's still there, but they're phasing him out in favor of Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, Likely. There we go. So again, I still think the tight end is going to be Lamar Jackson's number 2 because that's a safety blanket. But one of the biggest pieces in the Ravens' repertoire that we have not talked about is the rushing leader himself, Derrick the King Henry. And let's face it, if you don't stop that dude early, that dude gets going, and he is impossible to stop. He is a mammoth of a man.
Yes, he is. Here's the thing. I like Derrick Henry. Right? Looking at his stats last season, right? He had 307 carries for 1,595 yards, averaging 5.2 yards, 16 touchdowns, and he had 15 receptions for an additional 150 yards, right? His average for that was 10. But he also had 4 fumbles, right? And he wasn't really, in my opinion, from all the games that I watched, wasn't consistent enough, right?
Well, he had the fumbles at the worst possible time.
At the worst possible time. So, again, this offense is one of the best in the league. What the Ravens lack is their defense, right? However, who did they just pick up for their defense?
They did just pick up the one, the only Mr. Trey Hendrickson after failing to sign Max Crosby from the Raiders. Let's not forget that. They failed him on his physical, and they were said, we're going to go get Trey Hendrickson. I think that was planned. I think they were like, nah, we changed our mind about Max Crosby. He's got too many tattoos. Let's go get Trey Hendrickson.
I mean, which is really weird considering that that's a division rival.
I don't get it. I feel like there should be rules that you can't trade players to division rivals.
Hey, whoa. Hey, whoa. Hang on. Joe Flacco sat there and pulled the fast one. What was it on Pittsburgh? He beat him with the Browns and then beat him with the Bengals. And he was like, ha!
That I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know if that says more about Joe Flacco as a quarterback or if it says more about the team's defense that he went up against.
Hey, I don't know. I'm all about it. But yeah, no, I think that definitely with the big upgrade for the defense, right, and the fact the new head coach is a defensive coordinator, I do expect a lot more from this defense heading into this season.
So our whole premise this week on this show was talking about Josh Allen because he is the number one quarterback on that list. Lamar Jackson's obviously on there. Who's under more pressure, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? Because I still think it's
Jackson.
Josh Allen.
No, it's Jackson. It's Jackson for sure. It's Jackson for sure. Disagree. Big disagree. And here's why. Because last season, Josh Allen had 4,000 yards and made it to the playoffs. Jackson had 2,000 yards and nothing else. Nothing else follows. All right. So you talk about who's under pressure. John Harbaugh is probably one of the most respected coaches in the league, right? He is one of the most talented coaches in the league. And the Ravens chose Lamar over him, right? Jackson has something to prove this season. Lamar for sure has something to prove this season.
He better get his shit together collectively and raise all boats, because otherwise, I honestly don't think Baltimore will move on from Lamar. I think Lamar will move on from Baltimore before vice versa. Before the team moves on. I think he'll get tired of losing and go, trade me to a contender. Get me the hell out of here.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Like I said, I think that if he doesn't ball out this season, this could be his last year wearing purple. Right? If he has another just absolutely soul-crushing season like last season, nah. I think they go, we chose you. We gave you a new head coach. We got you some weapons, right? We kind of tried to shore up our defense, and you still couldn't perform. Good luck to you.
So you think they cut him? They don't even trade him?
Oh, they trade him. Oh no, for sure they trade him.
They've got to get something back for him.
Oh, dude, and let's be honest, they will.
Could it be Arch Manning to the Ravens? That would be wild.
Arch Manning, dude.
That would be
Arch
wild.
Manning. All right. Any last things on the Rams or on the Ravens?
Ravens? No.
The Ravens.
No, I don't have anything else for the Ravens. Just like I said,
Fantastic.
I hope Lamar gets his shit together, pun intended that time, and
figure it out,
Bazinga!
Lamar. Figure it out. All right. Now we're gonna get into the mother effing the Rams. All right. The Rams. Look at that, man. Look at number 9. Look at number 9. Here's the thing that I'm gonna tell all you. All right. Broncos fan, right? Love the Broncos. Let me tell you something. This dude over here, right? Number 9, right? The true number 9.
9.
Baller. Okay? And here's why. Los Angeles Rams went 12-5 last season, right? They were the favorite to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC. All right. And Matt Stafford is a seasoned veteran, right? Rob, I want you to take a guess at Matt Stafford's stats from last season. Just throw some numbers. Throw me a number for yards. Throw me a number for touchdowns. Throw me a number for interceptions, and a number for his QBR.
I know he threw over 4,000 yards last season. I remember that stat.
Okay.
What exactly it was, I don't remember. I know it was over 4,000.
Okay.
I know, or I believe I know, he had, I think, 30 touchdowns.
Okay.
And then he was very low on interceptions. I want to say maybe 6.
Okay.
What was the other thing you asked me for?
What do you think his overall QBR was?
It was probably in the 70s, if not 80s.
Okay. All right. Matt Stafford, last season, 4,707 yards.
Holy shit!
46 touchdowns.
Damn.
8 interceptions with a 71.2 QBR. How? Number one, how did the Rams not go to the Super Bowl, right? Because that is almost double every other QB stat that we pulled up this episode, right? That man threw almost double the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL when it came to touchdowns. Pull up the list. Pull up the top 10 list. Pull up the top 10 list. Let's see. Matthew Stafford. Oh, top 3. How though is he only top 3?
He should at least be number 2, if not number 1.
This dude, stats alone, on paper, that dude's number 1. I'm a Broncos fan. Matt Stafford, number 1. 46 touchdowns, 88 interceptions, with 4,700 yards. And they put this man at number 3?
Let me bring you back down to earth for a half a second. He didn't throw as many touchdowns as Peyton Manning did.
Fair enough. Listen, fair enough. Don't care. Guess what? Who's still in the league and who isn't?
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Who's in the league? Who isn't? This man threw 46 touchdowns, and they relegated this man to the 3rd spot in the top 10? What are we talking about?
Hey, do me a favor.
What are we talking about?
Check your pulse right now. I bet it's over 120.
Oh, yeah, no, it's over. It's over about 200. How do you get hit with number 3? How do you get hit with number 3?
He got hit all right. He got slapped in the mouth.
I don't know who. Listen, coaches, execs, and scouts. Listen, you remember those old dudes? Like my father-in-law had the perfect analogy. He's like, you ever see the movie Moneyball? Right, and they're all sitting around the table, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, that dude look good. Yeah, he's gonna do real good. Yeah, no, we need to like." And Brad Pitt's like, "Hey, you guys are all idiots. Like, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about." This list.
Here, wait. I got something for you. I got for the scouts, coaches, and execs that made this list.
Stay off the weed.
Yes. This is absolutely ridiculous. How do you listen? Oh, potential this. Oh, potential that. Oh, this, that, the other thing. How is that man only number 3?
Bruh.
He absolutely crushed it last season. All right. Not to mention the Rams. Just offense in general. All right. The duo to beat going into the 2026 season is Adams and Nakua. That is the wide receiver duo to beat, in my opinion. All right. Ask me why, Rob. Ask me why.
Why, Grunt?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Okay. Adams had 60 receptions for 789 yards, 14 touchdowns, with an average of 13.1. Right? Respectable, right? Adams, seasoned veteran, seasoned wide receiver, right? Has played with some big names. Aaron Rodgers, right? Big names. Nakua had 129 receptions for 1,715 yards, 10 touchdowns, and an average of 13.3 yards. That is the duo to beat this season. The Rams, everybody couldn't figure out during the draft why Sean McVay, right?
McVay.
Why McVay was so peeved off when Ty Simpson got drafted. Like you saw him in the war room, right? He's just
he was mad as shit.
You're like, why is this dude so mad? What's going on? Now I know. Now I understand what kind of backhanded, absolute just disrespect that they hit Matt Stafford with, hey, yeah, first round we're going to pull a quarterback. I completely understand why that man was so peeved. Completely understand it.
Everybody was shocked. Nobody saw it coming.
Right. And again, looking at the stats, now you know. Now you know. Rams offense this year, primed. It's hot. Matt Stafford's coming back. Honestly, this could be, I think the Rams, probably one of the biggest threats in the NFC. probably one of the biggest threats. Not to mention the big ass elephant in the room. And what's that, Rob? What's that on the other side of the ball?
That would be the ginormous human being known as Myles Garrett, who is also the defending defensive player of the year. And hold on. And the fact that there's a possibility that Aaron Donald might come out of retirement just to play with Myles Garrett. Not to win a Super Bowl. Aaron Donald won the Super Bowl. Just to play with Myles Garrett.
Right there. This team is primed to go the distance. I'll tell you right now. Primed to go the distance. No doubt in my mind. Right? On the offense, you got Matt Stafford throwing up omega numbers. You've got Nakua Adams putting up ridiculous numbers on wide receiver. Right? I even look up the running back because I was like, there was 46 touchdowns. Someone got past that ball. I didn't even look at the running back. Who's the running back last season? Let's see. Let's pull it up.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Let's see. Depth chart.
And while that's
Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams. Oh, okay. Yeah. 259 carries, 1,252 yards, 10 touchdowns with an average of 4.8. Right? 10 touchdowns. Dog, I'm a Broncos fan. This stat line is ridiculous.
Well, and there's also two moves that the Rams did aside from bringing over Myles Garrett. If that wasn't enough, but they also brought over Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs, who's again a top 5, if not top 3 corner in the NFL. The Chiefs were like, "Yeah, okay, see ya." Rams were like, "We'll take him."
Yeah. What are we talking about? The Rams, dude, listen. Call it right now. Hot take. Rams win it all. I'm about to go make a sports bet. I'm about to put the mortgage on the line.
Let's not do that. Let's not go that far.
Put the mortgage on the line. Please gamble responsibly. Don't do that. But no, it's this team is and Sean McVay is coming out to settle a score. He's coming out to settle a score with everyone. That man is going to go score shirt policy on everybody. For sure.
As he should. As he should. With the roster that the Rams have built and brought back and added to, it would not surprise me that the Rams make it to the Super Bowl. It wouldn't.
These numbers alone, they should have made it. I know I was talking to my buddy. He is a huge Rams fan. He's been in the comment section before talking about it. He was like, honestly, I was like, dude, how? Because I was doing the research for this episode. I was like, how? How did you guys not get to the Super Bowl last season? And he was like, one call. One bad call. He's like, you're not going to like it? One bad call. I was like, you know what? I'll like it, dislike it. Sometimes that's just the way it falls out. But this is ridiculous. Dude, just the stat line on everything, who they are building. Sean McVay is coming back with a vengeance with this team. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I think Sean McDermott is going to come back and play the Joker of the league this year. I really do.
You think?
I think he's going to come back and he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, some cards that he hasn't played, and he's going to come up with some wild plays and wild schemes just to kind of flop it on the table and tell him, this is my table now.
Dude,
I'm the captain now. I'm the captain.
I'm telling you, dude, this is pull up the top 10 again. All right, let's because you heard it here. If not first, you heard it here from the Gridiron Command on the Department of Football channel. Rams probably going to the Super Bowl.
Clip it. Clip it.
Clip it. Ridiculousness. Whoever came up with this top 10, whoever they talked to, I don't know names. I don't know nothing, right? This list is absolute malarkey. All right. Josh Allen, great quarterback. I understand why he got chosen as top one up until I read the Matt Stafford stats. All right. These guys need to go start looking at what's on paper and what's happened. Mahomes.
My only caveat to this, to your point of him being at number 3, and I'm not going to say it's a reason. I'm not going to say it's a good reason if it is a reason. But Matt Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes has won a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has not. But that also doesn't explain Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Prescott, Herbert, May, Goff, and Williams.
I can understand Goff. Goff has helped turn around the Detroit Lions. I get Jared Goff at number 9 makes sense to me. I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with Caleb Williams at number 10, right? The other person that they left off here, and again, I have no idea why, right? And this is, yes, I'm gonna get a little Bronco-y here, all right? I'm a little Broncos fan, all right? Not apologizing for it. How is Bo not on this list? 2 seasons in the league, made the playoffs twice. Yes, granted, his first season got knocked off wild card round. Happens, is what it is. Comes back, gets us all the way to the AFC Championship, right? Has a detrimental injury. Sure. How is he not in the top? How is he not in the conversation? What does this league have against the Broncos? What do they have against Sean Payton? What do they have against Bo? I have no idea. How is Bo not on this list?
Oh, he's
talking about a guy that like. When was the last time Dak Prescott went to the playoffs? When was the last time Cowboys made a playoffs appearance? Dak's number
Kansas
6.
City.
Yeah, Dak's number 6. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix comes out, gets to the playoffs his first season, kills our dry spell. Thank you, Bo Nix. Appreciate you. Comes back year 2. Everybody's like, oh, it was a fluke. Oh, no way. Deep playoffs. Gets the AFC Championship. Right? Beats the number 1 guy on this list. No, don't have him on the list.
In Bo Nix's first 2 seasons with the Denver Broncos, I just want to throw this out there. He has accumulated 7,706 passing yards, 54 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions. Interceptions are a little high, but again, over 2 years.
Rookie and sophomore seasons, right? This isn't a seasoned veteran.
Bo Nix should have been on this list.
Should have been on the list, right?
Sam Darnold should have been on this list. Matthew Stafford should have been higher.
Right. I don't know who came out with this. I don't know. They were like, oh yeah, execs. Hey,
they obviously weren't using stats.
Owners, I'm gonna tell you something. I'd have seen this list and I've been like, what'd you say? I'd have had an inquisition on all of them. What did you say? Whose name did you put up? Oh, I put up Dak Prescott. Out. You're done. Don't need you. Obviously, you don't know what you're talking about. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, people? But
was there anything else you wanted to talk about with the Rams?
Done. The Rams going to Super Bowl. Rams deep playoff run going to Super Bowl with the lineup that they have, with this absolute behemoth of a roster that they have amalgamated. For sure. With that, let's go into our final comments. If you guys are in the chat, by all means, drop a chat. Tell us what you think. All right, what do you guys think about the list? Because let me tell you something. I think it's ridiculous. Obviously, just went on a massive tirade about it. But drop a comment. Tell us what you guys think. Rob, what do you have for final comments coming off of this episode? Because I think this is probably one of the best episodes we've had. So what do you think?
Hey, definitely a lot of great points have been made. I'm just super excited that the 2026 NFL season is right around the corner. Again, for everybody that has joined the show, been in the comments, I want to thank each and every single one of you. Without your guys' support, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. Again, thank you to Dubby for sponsoring our shows and our videos. Again, I'm going to throw this up here just because I feel like talking for a minute. But again, go ahead and why is it not coming up? Is it coming up for you? It's not coming up for me.
Not coming up for me.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Head over to all of our social media. Again, we're on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, X, Twitter, TikTok. I already said Twitter. I said Twitter twice. Instagram, Facebook. Everything is the Department of Football or at the Department of Football, with the exception of Twitter, aka X. It is the DOF Pod. Like, share it out to your family, friends. Let's get the conversation going. Again, it's been a long time since football, but training camps are underway. Hopefully, we're going to be getting a lot of news out of training camps. There may even be some additional signings coming up, so we're going to be keeping our eyes out. We know Gridiron Grunt is going to keep an eye on everything that Schefter has to say, and Ian Rappaport.
Officially official. What is it? What is it now? Stop raising my heart rate. I don't appreciate it, sir.
But that's all I got to say. I want to thank everybody again. And Grunt, I'm going to turn the remainder of our time over to you, sir.
Appreciate everybody that came out, watched the show. Like Rob said, please like, share, subscribe. We're a new channel this year. We're getting ready for this upcoming season. We're super excited. Appreciate everybody for being here. And again, if you guys have something to say, drop it in the comments. We love hearing y'all's thoughts, right? We love hearing from you guys, okay? We want to hear your guys' thoughts. We want to hear your guys' opinions, because you guys might say different. You guys might sit there and look at me and be like, oh, the Rams really aren't that good. And I'll be like, you're smoking something, but okay. Absolutely, sure. Yeah, whatever floats your boat, guy. But no, I think that we are absolutely
off the weed.
Yeah. Or whatever else.
I had to.
Hey, fair. But thank you for everybody that stopped by, that came out, watched, and I mean, I think with that, Rob, go ahead and close us out, man, and we will see you guys next week.